Hey everybody, it's Tubi, and it's time to get creative. We're going to be doing a canvas painting of the moon, inspired by the artist Amy Pearce from YouTube. So get your creative hats on, and let's get started. Alright, so basically I start off with a canvas that's of decent size. It really doesn't matter. Honestly, I've done it with larger canvases, smaller canvases, but today I chose a size that was sort of medium or schmedium. And yeah, it was 16 by 20. That's actually a pretty decent size. So it's always good to have a nice clean canvas. I got this from Walmart. It wasn't too expensive at all. In fact, nothing from Walmart is really that much. You'll find even the paints that I've used are by the brand Apple Barrel. So we got the white here, and yeah, very reasonable. Not expensive at all. And then we got some turquoise, or what color is this? Caribbean, or Caribbean, if you're feeling fancy. We have English navy. That's always good to mix in there. It's like the medium color in between the black and the Caribbean or turquoise. So paint brushes of all different sizes. Of course, you got your small, medium, large. You just never know. I like the small ones. They come with great detail. And then we have these sponge brushes. I could not find a sponge, so I just used the sponge brushes. Water and a plastic cup here, and then paper towel. It's always good to clean your mess up. You know what I'm saying? Just in case you mess up. I found this filament that my brother had around the basement. It's basically to a 3D printer or printer, but yeah, we needed a perfect circle for the moon, so we chose that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the supplies. So we are going to start it off with this decent sized brush. It's got like a flat edge. Honestly, this part really doesn't matter either as far as what brush you use, but something decent enough to get started with. The first color which we'll be using is white, and then these Apple Barrel paints come with like a protective seal so that paint is not everywhere, and pretty much all the paints are like that. We're just taking that off. So then man, I promise, I've been doing this for like a while and it never fails. I somehow get paint on me no matter what. Like, I'll try to be like professional and be like that guy to never get paint nowhere except on the canvas. Nah, not even. Every time something happens, so I had to get some of the paint off my hands. But hey, that's just what makes it fun. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get paint everywhere. In fact, get your hands dirty when you're doing these paintings. Enjoy the steps of the way. You'd be surprised, like, if you focus too much on trying to keep things neat and everything, your painting might not even turn out as great as you want it to, because like you're not getting down to the nitty gritty with the details and all that. Okay, it's getting weird. Okay, let's also take off the protective plastic on the other paints. I think the English navy was probably the only one that had that little plastic seal on it on the top, because it was a smaller one. But these bigger ones, like the black, the white, and all those, they have like that little seal in between the top and the actual paint jug. So we got all of the protective covers off. We've shook the paint just to make sure you know, it's as opaque as it can be. Make sure, you know what I'm saying, all the paints is mixed up real good. And we are going to start with white. So you can very well use a paint tray. In fact, I've later in the video sort of grabbed a that's not even what it's called, a color palette or something like that, to use the paint on. But right now I'm just drizzling the paint right on the canvas just for the sake of the video. And we're starting with white. And by the way, a lot of this is like in time lapse, but I really took my time on this, like on purpose, like slowly did this just to have fun with it, with the video, and you know what know what I'm saying, added some real time in there. We're gonna go ahead and add the turquoise or the Caribbean next around. So with this, basically what we're doing is we're starting with the lighter colors first. So we put the white, we're adding the turquoise now, and we're putting that around the white, and we're gonna sort of blend it, and you'll see that in just a quick second. And so don't have to worry too much about making a perfect circle right now. This is basically creating the light source of the moon. So the moon will obviously go in the middle, and then it'll emit, it'll sort of illuminate and create like a light source in the sky, and it, you know, just kind of goes from light to dark. So right now we're just pushing the paint outward. Amy Pearce did an amazing job with showing that technique. I'm sort of following some of her instructions, but also just kind of making it my own, just having fun with it. I've actually done this painting several times, and it never gets old. So you'll see that it's really no rules to how you create things. You just take some suggestions, maybe watch a tutorial or two, and then yeah, just have fun with it. So we're just blending it. I'm using the same paintbrush. Later we'll use the sponge brush to sort of get a cool effect, but as you can see, we're just taking our time and just making it happen. All right, so now we're adding the English navy, and like I said, I'm just drizzling it on the canvas. We're gonna go around. I normally like to take this color and basically push it out for the rest of the canvas, because that's majority of the canvas is like this navy sort of color. It's my hope is to make the sky or the night sky like sort of dark, so the focus of the painting is more on the moon. So now we're coming in with the black, and I do normally put those in like the four corners of the canvas, because it's really the outer edge that you want as dark as you can. It doesn't have to be like pitch black, because who likes just like a pitch black sky? You know, sometimes you want to see those details in there, but obviously with the moon being the light source, the sky gets darker, you know, as it expands out. So we're just using the outer edge to be as dark as we can, but we're going to blend that as well. And like I said, I'm basically taking my time with this, but I'll be honest, it does make it easier to work with the paint when you do it in a timely fashion, in a quicker fashion, quicker pace, because once it starts drying, it's kind of hard to blend. So we're coming back in with the white actually, because yeah, by the time I added the black and everything, it sort of dried out, because we're using acrylic. By the way, this is all like matte colors. Matte is just like, I don't know, that's my thing. Like, I like these matte acrylic paints. It just gives it a certain vibe. But don't get me wrong, satin and glossy paints, definitely a vibe. In fact, I have a project that's like satin and glossy, and it goes crazy, trying to tell you. But yeah, we're just pushing outward along the entire circle, and we're sort of just blending those colors, getting everything mixed in. And it's okay to go back and forth. You know, sometimes you gotta do it once and then go back again a second time, or a third time even, and just get the results that you want. So all right, so then we come back in with the brush, sort of get a little bit different effect than you would with the sponge brush. The sponge brush, it was kind of weird. It didn't really work out as best as I wanted it to, but it's because I didn't have a sponge. It's better with the sponge, honestly, from what I seen in Amy Pearce's video, and then from what I experienced, the sponge definitely has a better effect, but I got lazy and just used those other brushes. And now, I kid you not, this is the best part, right? This is the most fun part, right? The bestest part. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna add the stars. So you get your brush, the wider brush. I like to just kind of dip it in the water just to get the brush a little bit wet. So when you put the paint on there, you can do this. And you're pretty much just flicking the paint on the canvas. Now, like I said, there's really no rules to how you get creative with this. So nobody is gonna tell you how many stars you can have, how many stars you shouldn't or should have. I'm just going to town on this thing. And if you notice, like sometimes when you're flicking the paint on the canvas, you'll get these like weird, like almost like splatters, like these little streaks. That is actually pretty cool. I wish I had more on this canvas because I don't know about you, but it sort of looks like a shooting star kind of thing. Like on the bottom left, I don't know if you can tell. It's like a streak of paint, and it actually adds like a pretty cool effect. So now you might run into a spot where you like, okay, I don't want to just keep flicking stars on the canvas and make it look like a, you know, polka dot party, you know? So, but there might be spots where the clusters of the stars, so to speak, didn't, you know, result too well. So I've picked up one of those smaller brushes that we mentioned in the beginning for detail, and I'm sort of just dabbing it in some paint and just adding stars where I want them to be. So sometimes you just got to have fun with the creative process and just, you know, make happen what you want it to do. All right, so I have my perfect circle. Again, it really doesn't matter what you use. Actually, it doesn't even matter what size of a circle. However big you want the moon or small you want the moon, just go with that. So we're going to trace that. And you don't have to press down crazy hard with the pencil or whatever you're using. Just a light circle as a guideline. And we're going to come in with some white, and I think Amy Pearce pretty much encouraged not to make it like fully white, like the circle as you're adding the white in the guideline. I kind of disobeyed and just made it more white than, you know, you would if you were trying to add crazy detail in the moon, because it's something about the moon that I like when I actually look up in the sky, you know what I'm saying, at night. And the fact that it's just like really, really bright is like what catches my attention. So I figured more white would actually capture that effect. So I did add more white than she did in her instructions, but I like the result. So we're just following those guidelines of the circle. I can honestly say it's actually looking good without these details that we're putting in next, but obviously detail is what makes everything come together so well. So we're just adding some of that English navy to the bottom of the moon. That's just gonna give it like, you know, a 3D effect. There's really no rules to how you create your moon, what patterns or what, you know, craters or details you put in there. Just have fun with it and go with your imagination. And I think we're coming in with some more white, and then obviously the turquoise. It's just that central color in between the dark and the light on the moon anyway, to make it sort of have character and more of that 3D effect. my opinion, it's really that Caribbean color, that turquoise color that make everything just look so amazing. Because that's like the brightest color on the canvas. I mean, the white is white, but that turquoise, it finesse so different. You know what I'm talking about? So for the very outer edge of the moon, I like to add a little bit of white. In fact, I think that's what Amy encouraged as well. That does give a great effect. It really makes it appear that it's shining bright. Without that, it sort of just looks but when you go adding that extra white in there, it definitely makes a difference. So we could have called this done. You know what I'm saying? We could have said, all right, that's about it. It's a painting of the moon. But no. You got to get creative. You got to see what's next. What can you add to it to make it look even better? So here I go with the black, adding some blades of grass or whatever you want to call it. And it's like this silhouette type of vibe, and it just makes it so much better. So here we go, adding that. So I'm finding when we do this, it's sort of bringing a perspective vibe to the painting. From looking at the moon in a flat, maybe not necessarily eye level, but just like a basic level of view, it's sort of boring. So adding blades of grass, it makes it look like your view is either, lower, or maybe adds to that whole aspect of looking at the moon, because obviously the moon's way up and we're way down, so adding the grass just gives it that effect that you're looking up. And so I was asking around, like, what else could we add to make this look cool? And we could have very well did without this, but I was like, hey, why not? So I asked around, and my brother's kids was like, yo, you should add some fireflies or lightning bugs. I was like, okay, let's do it. So I grabbed some green, and we're just going to add that in there. By the way, what do y'all say? Do you say fireflies or lightning bugs? I come up saying lightning bugs. We used to catch them and put them in little jars and see them light up. Lightning bugs. But then some people say fireflies. In fact, I think it's a song called Fireflies. But hey, let me know in the comments, fireflies or lightning bugs. And if it's more fireflies, I'm going to say fireflies. If it's more lightning bugs, I'm going to continue to say lightning bugs. I'm just curious to see what we refer to these little creatures. And so around those lightning bugs or fireflies, I am creating like this little glow by mixing some of that green that we showed and some white. And we even add that same effect to some of the blades of grass. Very, very light detail. It's not even something that really kind of stands out, but I know it's there, so it looks cool. And now we're just painting around the edge of the canvas, because I hate painting a canvas and not like going around the edge. It just makes it look so unfinished for some reason. And we are down to like the final stage of the canvas, and that's just pretty much adding your signature. And it's definitely nothing wrong with that. You should be credited for what you've done. And that is pretty much it, you guys. Painting of the moon. To be artistic, that's me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Have a good one. Catch you next time.